Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, March 6th, 2023. This is live stream 894. Closing in on episode 900. That is for certain. So if you're not familiar with how this show works, let me point out, super casual around here. We're just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and I share a first look at a game. Most evenings. Every once in a while, I'll do a live review, but for the most part, we always take a first look at a game, and that is what we'll be doing tonight. We're going to dive on in and take a look at Hârn, Kingdom of Kaldor from Columbia Games. This is one of their Kingdom books for the Hârn, I think it's Hârn Master is what they call the actual role-playing game, but many people use Hârn World, which is the setting for different role-playing games. So this is rather setting, I should say, system agnostic. So we're going to be taking a look at this. I've actually got 4 of these Kingdom books that we will be taking a peek at over the next few weeks. So that is what's on the agenda tonight, taking a look at Hârn, Kingdom of Kaldor in just a bit. So I do want to point out, if you are not overly familiar with the show, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you are tuning in because you want to get that peek at Kingdom of Kaldor, kick back, relax. It'll probably be about 35 minutes before we get on into that. So just put your feet up. Relax, it's Monday. The week is off and running. So just hang with the gang. But if you are watching this 30 minutes or more after the stream has ended, there will be timestamps. So you can actually jump past the tabletop gaming news if you're impatient. You just gotta get to that first look. There will be timestamps in the show notes, or depending on the device that you happen to be watching this on, might be right there in the timeline, right in front of you. All depends. So, pretty sweet, pretty sweet. So, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, you can chime in if you are a subscriber to the channel. And if you've been a subscriber for at least 48 hours, you can take part in chat. It's how I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. So I see chat is off and running already. First out the gate was the Motor City Madman. That's right, the Madman is with us, one of our chat moderators. We've got Liquid Nebula, Scott Connor, Stephen Dukensky, taking a stab at that pronunciation. Testy Trekkie is here. William Hellhis Zorak Zoran 1 is also hanging in chat. So I think that's everybody so far who is saying howdy. So welcome aboard, everybody. Good to see you. It is Monday. Let's get this week off and running. It is kind of lousy in the Chicago area. It was, I don't know, everybody was like, oh, it's in the 50s today. I had to go to a cardiologist appointment earlier today, and it sure didn't feel 50 to me. Plus, it's been rainy and... But I did get some videos done. Got some videos done over the weekend. In fact, my review for Cyborg is up. If you have not checked that out, I finally got around to getting that up. So if you were curious about Cyborg from, it is Occult Orkmeister Games, Stockholm Cartel, and Free League Publishing, by all means, check it out. I'll tell you, I liked it. I even liked it better than Mirkberg. So, Agile Monk has popped on in. So, Agile Monk says they're a fan and a little bit of a creator around Hârn and have loved it since day one. So, Eskil Hardsson is with us. I believe this is a first-time visit. Welcome aboard. Thank you for stopping on in and saying howdy to everybody in chat. Always appreciate it. I know we've got some lurkers out there. So one of our chat moderators, Sarah D, is a lurker. So she might be floating around if she is. So nice. So later on, I will tell you about the other review video that will be up probably in the wee hours tomorrow morning. So something I know some people have been eagerly anticipating. So let's jump on into tonight's tabletop gaming news because I've got a nice eclectic mix. First off, arriving from SUPERHOT Presents, which SUPERHOT is actually a video game company, and SUPERHOT Presents is sort of an offshoot of this company. They're now doing tabletop games, and now arriving is Not Enough Mana. So I guess Eric Mana is not in this because there's not enough mana. Not Enough Mana is a potion drinking card game. I think this is an adult beverage drinking game, although they don't come right out and say it. But they do say potions not included. So this is for 3 to 6 fearless wizards, and legal potion drinking age may vary depending on your kingdom's laws. See what they mean by that, right? You'll be destroying each other using epic spells, curses, and artifacts while replenishing your mana by drinking magical potions. Your goal is to eliminate all other wizards from the game, either through depleting all their health points or by KO, also known as too much mana. In their turn, players cast spells and curses, equip artifacts, and face epic events by drawing and playing cards. Spells require mana points, which the player can replenish at any point in the game by drinking mana potions. If a player loses all health points or is incapable of making a move in their turn, they are removed from the game. The last player wins. Not Enough Mana is for 3 to 6 players, ages 18 and up. That's why I think this is an adult beverage drinking game, because this is actually out of Europe. So right there would be that age 18. Plays around 30 to 60 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $29.99 when it ships later this month. Could be kind of interesting. Could be a wee bit of fun. I'm not necessarily against kind of drinking games. If that is what this is, I mean, it's possible that this is just a straight up card game. But the way it's presented makes you think that maybe it is it's a drinking game. So Agile Monk has shared a super chat saying that I do an awesome job. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Much appreciated. And I aim to please. I try. It's the best I can say, right? Best I can say. Sarah D has said hello. So she is guilty as charged, is what she's mentioning there. Flaming Huron is with us as well. So we've got 3 of our 4 chat moderators. I don't know. Our 4th chat moderator, he might be lurking as well, Mr. Eddie T. I don't know. Simeon has joined us in chat as well. I think I've said hello to everybody except for Vaughn Moore is now chiming on in. Looks like we've got a nice chat off and running. Moving right along, next news piece. Now available following a successful Kickstarter from All or Nothing Productions is 1815 Scum of the Earth. Here's the latest. The third in the historic epic battle system series of games. Relive the legendary Battle of Waterloo. 18th June 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte is determined to rise back to power and claim all of Europe as his prize, but is stopped in his tracks by the might of the forces led by an unassuming yet undefeated Arthur Wellesley and his charismatic Prussian ally Blucher. 1815, Scum of the Earth is an asymmetric competitive tactical card game and successor to the award-winning 1066 Tears to Many Mothers and 1565 St. Elmo's Pay, with which it is fully compatible. Kind of strange. You could kind of mix that all up. Each player, as either the Duke of Wellington or Napoleon, musters troops and resources to overcome the various obstacles in their path before their armies clash in an epic battle over 3 farms forward of the ridge at Waterloo: Hougoumont, La Haye-Saint, and Paplat. Each beautiful card in the game is inspired by a real person or event from the time, with a focus on quick tactical play and a thematic reimagining of the events of the time. The game is non-collectible, and there is no deck building required. Each player simply grabs their deck and shuffles, and then play begins. 1815 Scum of the Earth is for 1 or 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays around 30 to 60 minutes, and it does carry an MSRP of $49.99. And I gotta say, I have shared news about this before. I love how the web address barely fits on here. Just barely. But I think this looks very cool. This looks very, very interesting. I have heard of 1066 and the 1565, if I remember correctly. I have never played any of these, and definitely looks very, very interesting. And I gotta mention that if you have never seen the film Waterloo with Christopher Plummer as the Duke and Rod Steiger as Napoleon, it's actually really good. I know some people out there are like, it's not very good, not very good. I thought it was pretty damn good. So, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Coco B has joined us, saying, is it a coincidence I join as Jeff says Scum of the Earth? If you are wondering why this is called Scum of the Earth, that is how the Duke of Wellington referred to his troops, saying that they were the scum of the earth. And what he meant by that was that the conscription that the French did would actually take people from all various social statuses and put them together in a single unit, where that was not how the English worked. They would take some of the lowest of the low and just throw them all together into a regiment. And that is what he meant when he was referring to the scum of the earth. Double Z says if they had children, they would want me to name them. Yeah, because I would give them names that would be, you know, spelled normally, but I would absolutely mispronounce it. So did I say Wellingsley? It's like Wellings. It's Wellesley? I think it's Wellesley. Duke of Wellington. All right, good enough, right? And I had always heard that he was a real dick. I don't know. Yeah, I've always, you know, sort of what I've always heard. Setsy Trekkie says their favorite historical battle trivia is about the American Civil War. I actually toured a bunch of Civil War battlefields when I was 15. My dad and I took a vacation together one summer, and I was in charge of where we went. And we went to a bunch of the battlefields. Super interesting. I think historically that's probably the war that I know the most about. So Tessie Trekkie says the first major battle was fought on a guy's farm. There were a lot of battles fought on a lot of farms. 4.5 years later, Lee surrendered to Grant in the same gentleman's parlor. Yes, that is correct. Yes. Elmer, God, I'm trying to remember his name. I forget. But here's the thing. So that farmer actually left Manassas. Manassas was where the first and second battles of Bull Run took place. And, God damn it, I wish I could, it's Elmer something is his name. So he moved his family to get away from the fighting, and he moved to Appomattox Courthouse, which is where, not the courthouse, that's what the town was called, Appomattox Courthouse. And it was in his living room, his parlor. Connor Dunning is with us as Elmer Fudd. All right, wise ass. It's not Elmer Fudd. I tell you, these Weisenheimers. So yes, that is very, very interesting. Stephen Dukensky says Elmer's glue. Boy, I tell you, these people with no respect for history, I tell you. All right. God, it's going to keep bouncing around in my head. I'm going to end the stream, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, damn, it's this. His name is this. Kevin R. Smith is with us. Welcome, Kevin. Good to see you. Elmer McLean. Ding. Just remember, now I'm starting to think maybe it's not Elmer. But it's John McLean. Yes. In fact, his descendant ended up stopping these terrorists from taking over Nakatomi. Yeah. All righty. Anyway, let's move on to some role-playing game news. Because Paizo has announced a new region of Galarian will be explored within the Pathfinder role-playing game. And here is the skinny on Tianjin. Or I think it's Tianji, or Zhai. As you can tell there. Wilmer McLean. Thank you, Testy Trekkie. There we go. Wilmer McLean, not Elmer McLean. I knew it was some kind of, old-timey name. Paizo, publisher of the Pathfinder and Starfinder role-playing games, has announced starting this fall, Pathfinder will be turning the globe a bit as it heads to a region that players have been waiting for, the setting of the next few Pathfinder projects coming down the road, Tianjia. Starting at the end of this year and continuing into 2024, Pathfinder will dive into this region like never before to bring adventures, stories, and character options inspired by this land. First, the narrative team will kick things off with the Season of Ghosts adventure path in October of 2023, a horror-themed campaign set in the haunted land of Shenmen and begins just after the small town of Willow Shore celebrates the Season of Ghosts, a local festival to appease Shenmen's many evil ghosts and spirits and ensure safety for the coming year. Yet this year, something's gone wrong, and the PCs wake to find their hometown of Willow Shore has fallen under a sinister curse and been invaded by monsters. In the months to come, the heroes must help the people of Willow Shore prepare for winter. Winter is coming. While working to discover the cause of the curse that's cut them all off from the rest of the world. Is it the work of a fiend, the machinations of vengeful spirits, or is it something much, much worse? Season of Ghosts will take your PCs from 1st to 12th level over the following volumes. The Summer That Never Was, Let the Leaves Fall, With No Breath to Cry, and To Bloom Below the Web. You might notice that this is Pathfinder's first 4-part adventure path for a very good reason. Each of this adventure path's volumes take place over the course of a different season, starting with the rainy summer and ending in the spring. With each season's passing, the stakes the heroes face escalate, and the revelations in store will shock the townsfolk of Willow Shore to the core. Will your group of adventurers be able to save their hometown from a mysterious supernatural horror? Or will your hometown simply become the next of Shenmen's haunted ruins? Then in 2024, prepare for not one, but 2 Lost Omens books from the Rules and Lore team. The Lost Omens Tianjia World Guide covers the many diverse nations and cultures that inhabit, you guessed it, Tianjia. Snippets of Tianjia's lore and history have come to Avestan via merchants and immigrants, but this book will present a look at the whole picture, from the elemental hegemony and Yugawi wars that shaped the landscape in ancient times to the return of Hârn in the modern era. Learn the secrets behind the undying emperor of Yijing, whose return is still awaited in Poli. Offer a small prayer to the local kami, Anito, or kaiju. See if you find satisfaction in the service of the Empress of Heaven, Shizuru, or in the explosive rivalry between the dancing gods Mugura and Rithyu. See if you want me to name your children. I could use any of those names. In an age ruled by heroes unfettered by prophecy, change is sweeping across the continent. Some of you might have helped Amiko Kajitsu dispose of the Jade Regent and ascend to the throne of Minkai. Now witness the new Odori era under her rule. Step into the nation of Buchan now that a Poli oracle has convinced it to ease its restrictions and open its borders. Hârn's tapestry people now live here too. Tapestry people, all right. Descendants of a past once thought lost for good. Amandandar, a nation now as Tian in heritage as it is Taldan, has declared its independence with the blessings of Queen Eutropia and renamed itself as Linvare. Visitors from Avestan may delight in a Grug's Resant lion dance or pick up a few words of its national language of Taltian. Journey the perilous Valashamai jungle and find your way among the Valash Raj, flourishing among the ruins, shattered by giant beasts and monsters. The World Guide will lead you through these nations and more before giving GMs a bestiary containing the continent's monsters, from the ferocious four-horned Oyoijin and the aristocrat-eating Yungno. Yikes. Certainly a lot going on here, right? After finding a nation or city that sparks your interest in the World Guide, it's only natural to want to make a character from there. The Lost Omens Tianjia Character Guide will introduce new rules options to bring your characters to life. The book will contain 6 brand new ancestries and numerous backgrounds to provide the seeds for new PCs. You'll also find expanded heritages and feats for existing ancestries that might be more common in Tianjia than in other areas, like the Peach Child Leshy heritage, which might have come from a fruit that floated down a river, or the Bakua lizard folk heritage, possibly responsible for eclipses over Minata when they eat the moon. The book also contains numerous character options to flesh out Tian adventures, whether that's skill feats to prepare elemental Tian medicine, or a new Magus hybrid study that lets you leap weightlessly through the air with your cultivated magic before your sword strikes home. So lots going on, lots coming down the pike for Pathfinder with the land of Tianjia. And of course, as more news becomes available, as we get page counts and pricing, I will certainly be bringing that to you. Also, should mention that later on in the show, I will be talking about what we're going to be doing next week. And Paizo Inc. has a lot to do with it. So I will be talking about that in a bit. Roger Prudhomme and Shaz are with us in chat. I'm sure some folks have swung on in. I may have missed them as they came on in to say hello. But welcome aboard, everybody. All right, moving right along. There is a new supplement for the Dune role-playing game. That's right. Dune Adventures in the Imperium, the great game, Houses of the Landsraad, has released. Here's the deets from Modiphius Entertainment. Beyond Arrakis lie a million worlds and a million enemies. The Landsraad is a great council of the houses that decides the fate of the Imperium under the will of the Emperor. Meeting on Catane, the Imperial homeworld, this chorus of powerful voices meet to make deals, craft alliances, crush enemies, and take vengeance in the halls of power. Here, whole worlds can be laid waste at the stroke of a pen, and riches beyond your wildest dreams can be bestowed for nothing more than a promise of support. The great game, Houses of the Landsraad, is a complete 128-page supplement for Dune Adventures in the Imperium that expands your campaign away from Arrakis to the vast and deadly Imperium. It offers the opportunity for your house to vie for power among its peers. Politic with your rivals, bring power and wealth to your house, and challenge your position among the most deadly power brokers of the Landsraad. The Imperium is waiting for you and your house to take your place among the powers of the Landsraad. Will it be only a step from the throne or under the heel of your enemies? The book includes a comprehensive detail on the nature and politics of the Landsraad Council and the complex relationships between the houses that keeps the Imperium turning. Secrets of the art of Conley, the rules that govern assassination by blade or poison, and how to manage a deadly war of assassins. Expanded notes on Choam with options and new talents for Choam agent player characters. Full dossiers on an array of the most important houses of the Landsraad, such as the fallen house Rashiz, the aggressive house Muratani, the noble house Talagari, and the devious house Wydris. A navigator's guide to the mysterious Spacing Guild and their place in the Imperium, with new talents and focuses for guild agent player characters. Cross space in a moment in a guild highliner with details on space travel and managing journeys across the Imperium with or without the guild. There's new rules for building any of the million worlds that can be found in the known universe or beyond. Create the home world of your house, your enemy's domain, or a new planet ripe for exploitation. There's a complete system for house management, allowing you to craft and build your domains, construct new planetary facilities, manage downtime, and gain leverage and favor from your peers as the power of your house grows. The 128-page Dune Adventures in the Imperium, the Great Game, Houses of the Landsrad, say that 5 times fast, carries an MSRP of $48 in hardcover, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at Drive-Thru RPG for $25. Sweet. Glad to see Modiphius continuing to support Dune Adventures in the Imperium and move the action away from Dune. So, pretty sweet. So, yes, I know that Frank Herbert's son, is it Brian Herbert? For some reason, I want to say it's Brian Herbert. And his co-author have released many Dune books. And I do believe that a lot of the inspiration for these other supplements for Dune Adventures in the Imperium draw from those books. In fact, for some strange reason, I thought that Frank Herbert's son is actually kind of a consultant on this game. So Flaming Heron says, yes, they are definitely supporting their systems well. Yeah, Modiphius Entertainment has been releasing a lot of stuff as of late. So they have been very busy. So my final news piece, there is a classic Delta Green role-playing tale, which is returned in print and PDF. Here's the latest on Convergence from Arc Dream Publishing. The Sky Watches. September 1996. In a small Tennessee town, teenager Billy Ray Spivey vanishes for 2 days without explanation and comes back changed. When he uses unnatural powers to kill 2 people, conspiracy theorists blame UFOs. Damn you, UFOs! Delta Green has other suspicions. A team of agents heads to Groversville to find the truth, but they may become the next victims. Written by John Scott Tynes, Convergence was the first Delta Green scenario ever published. Delta Green's illegal conspiracy of government agents exploit their positions and connections to cover up lethal incursions from beyond time and space, facing the madness so that no one else must. Convergence has blighted the nightmares of unwitting players since it first appeared in 1992. This edition has been thoroughly edited and updated for Delta Green, the role-playing game, and it accompanies Delta Green, The Conspiracy, a source book for terrors in the 90s. This is the horror that started all of this. Prepare your briefing, gather your players, give them our best wishes. None of you will ever be the same. The 24-page adventure is available right now in print. It is print on demand, which includes a PDF, over at Drive-Thru RPG for $24.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $4.99. And we will be getting a chance to take a peek at Convergence, because the fine folks over at Arc Dream Publishing are sending that and Conspiracy along for me to take a peek at. For some reason, I think Conspiracy was a source book for the original Delta Green, and I think this has been updated as well. So, veteran Grayblox is with us in chat. Good to see you. Mentioning that those books from Frank Herbert's son are horrible, in their opinion. I believe that's what he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about the Modiphius Entertainment books being awful. Or I should say horrible. That's his exact word. So, but you can ignore that heresy when running Dune. Nice. All right. So, as I mentioned, stay tuned. I will be taking a peek at Convergence and Conspiracy, both for Delta Green in the very near future. That is it for the tabletop gaming news tonight. So, of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller's Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also should mention, they are currently in the GM's Day sale. GM's Day was the 4th of March, I do believe. And you can save up to 30% on thousands of items right now. And I think that sale is going on, I think it's going on for about another 12 days. So it is not disappearing anytime soon. And of course, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find the gaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And thankfully, there are quite a few of you out there who either or and however utilize the banners as well as stop by paypal.me. So thank you very much. Big tip of the cap, everybody. Yes, I finally went and cut my hair, so I gave my hair a buzz because I needed it. Something fierce. So, alrighty then. So I don't really have anything cooking as far as random musings or anything like that. I was invited to be a special guest at a convention up in Lake Geneva. No, it is not Gary Con. It is another convention. It's like a gaming convention for charity. And I don't know, because to be honest, it's like, it seems like it's a lot of like Warhammer 40K stuff, a lot of miniature stuff. And supposedly, I guess this year they're going to include role-playing games and things like that. And I don't know, why would I be like a special guest? I don't know. So, but I got that message yesterday, and I'm sort of like, I don't know. It's like, I would feel really goofy going to something, and, you know, because I've heard stories about people being invited to conventions as special guests, and it's just, you know, here's a free pass. Oh, okay. It's like, I don't know how you're a special guest then. You're just getting a free pass like the press. So Flaming Heron asks, Jeff, are you a celebrity now? No. Jeez. Double Z1 says, because you one of the best? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, Origins would like you to be a special guest, or Gen Con would like you to be a special guest, which would never ever happen. But there, you know, you'd be like, oh yeah, well, they're probably going to have like, you know, a seminar or something like that with me. And when it's some small, when it's some small con, even though I guess it's like 3 days. No, I'll look further into it. I'll see what the deal is. All righty. So tonight we are going to dive on in and take a look at Hârn, Kingdom of Kaldor from Columbia Games. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
I am the captain of the good ship Pleasure. Come join my crew in search of a treasure. The treasure has been sighted from the old crow's nest. Be prepared to find what you like best. There's candy for you of quality fine. In fact, an assortment that is so divine. The soda pop is cold, just name your brand. The ice cream is delicious and it's right at hand. If it's popcorn you want, well, take my cue. We have the very finest in the world for you. Just steer a course straight up the aisle. We'll have an intermission for a little while.
Agnes, come here. I have a bottle here that actually sings.
Herbie, that's nothing but a bottle. Just a plain, ordinary, run-of-the-mill bottle. And you're telling me that it sings?
Well, here, listen.
Chamber is the one here to have when you're having more than one.
Why didn't you sing before?
After what she said about me, I should sing for her?
Any last request, like for a cup of Wilkins coffee?
No.
You don't drink Wilkins?
No.
How shocking.
Here come the tigers, tigers, tigers. Each one a real fighting man. Soldiers move at your command. Get the tigers, get your tigers. 'Cause never before could men of war spring into action just for you. Press and then bugle bend goes charge. Sarge leads the way. Rock has a grenade. Machine gun Mike takes a combat kit. Move into attack, into action, they are tigers.
Yes, they're the tigers. Each one different, each authentic. Each bends to every fighting position. Press, and every rugged tiger actually springs into action. Sarge, The Rock, Machine Gun Mike, Tex, Combat Kid, Big Ears, Bugle Ben. Then Pretty Boy reports you won. With the tigers, get your favorite first completely equipped. Then get them all. An extra weapon and uniform packs. And the amazing Tiger tank and cannon.
The tigers are on their way. Get yours today.
Tigers!
I have to say, those Tigers soldiers were kind of cool with all the different faces and everything. But it's sort of like, it's Sergeant Sam, Big Ears, Jack-Off Johnny. It's like, what? In fact, Coco B says Big Ears. Wow, went deep with nicknames. But yeah, their faces all had different sculpts, and that was kind of cool. Kevin is curious, what was Wonkin's crime to be put to death in the chair? Double Z1 is that guy in the electric chair? That was a commercial? Yep, Wilkins Coffee. What can I tell you? All right, so tonight we are going to dive on in and take a first look at Hârn, Kingdom of Kaldor from Columbia Games. It's written by N. Robin Crosby, Ed King, and John Scamato. Taking a guess on the pronunciation there. With artwork provided by Richard Luschek and Matthias Jansen. I do believe that this hardcover carries an MSRP of $59.99. So Sarah D says she has some veteran friends. Those nicknames are pretty mild compared to what they give each other. Yeah, that's very, very true. Very, very true. Scott Connor is with us in chat, mentions Wilkins Coffee was a very early project from Jim Henson. Yeah, that was some of the first television work that Jim Henson ever did. All right, so anyway, let's swing on over to the other camera. So we're going to take a look at Kingdom of Kaldor. So I have to point out that I do believe this hardcover was part of a Kickstarter that the previous time I had talked to Grant Dalglish at Gen Con, they were in the midst of. So Grant was kind enough to send along 4 different hardcovers. So I've got Kingdom of Kaldor, Kingdom of Meldirin. Oh, I'm sorry, Meldirine, because I think Y's are pronounced like E's in Hârn. Kingdom of Retham and Kingdom of Orbal. So we will eventually take a look at all 4 of these, but I thought I'd start off with Kingdom of Kaldor because I believe this is kind of the kingdom that a lot of people start off with because it's got more of kind of a traditional, feudalistic, chivalric sort of setting to it, sort of medieval. Agile Monk says they have all. They've got all of these. If you didn't catch my interview with Grant, my latest one, give it a peek. We talk about the latest Kickstarter that they've got running as well. So this, I believe, includes 2 books. Because if you go to DriveThruRPG and you take a look for Kingdom of Kaldor, you'll find a 62-page PDF, same cover, but there's no way this is 62 pages. This is more than 62 pages. So I think there's actually 2 books in here. So one is Kingdom of Kaldor, and we'll find out what the other one is. So let's take a look at the back here. It says, Kaldor is a landlocked feudal kingdom in eastern Hârn. Since its founding more than 500 years ago, external threats have been minimal, but internal strife has been common. The current dynasty, Clan Alansa, has sought to uphold the traditional principles of feudalism, chivalry, and royal justice. King Meganath Alensa is popular with the common people because he has kept the kingdom prosperous and at peace. King Meganath is in poor health and has never married, leaving, oh, that's bad news, right? That's very bad news. Leaving the succession a matter of contention between 3 bastard sons and a score of nieces and nephews. Intermarriage with other noble clans and the granting of royal offices in exchange for concessions has created a complicated web of alliances that may discourage a civil war when the king dies. While he lives, the factions plot and scheme for advantages. Much of the land claimed by Kaldor is controlled by tribal nations, some peaceful, others decidedly less so. The kingdom maintains 2 standing armies on the marshes, but relations with the tribes are not always warlike. A few hardy miners, trappers, and explorers venture into the wilderness, and tribesmen are a common sight in border settlements. The capital, Tashal, is an important economic hub. I think that's what's also in here. Caravans converge here from all corners of Hârn, from Orbal down the Fur Road, from Azadmere along the Silver Way, from Thay and the Lethean continent via the Jenin Trail, and from Western Hârn by the Salt Route. The Kingdom of Kaldor module is supplemented by other Columbia Games publications, including keeps, castles, and adventure sites, and provides a variety of opportunities for adventure. So the Madman says, boy, the names tonight are testing Jeff's enunciation skills, or lack thereof. Hey, these aren't real names. If these were real names, then it'd be like, yeah, okay. These were like real words. They're all made up. Gotta, guess what they are. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. Jeff mispronounced that fantasy world. So Double Z1 is heading on out. Good to see you. Thanks for swinging on in. They said they have all the old products from Hârn. Everything is broken, but the price of new Kaldor is $60. Is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I got to agree with you as far as, for one, the hardcover price, $60 for about 100 and what, maybe 24 pages is what we're going to see here. There's a guess. That's pretty steep. But what I do also have to point out is if you go to Drive-Thru RPG and look at the PDF prices, they are really high. So the Kaldor PDF thing is usually priced at like $30, which for 62 pages, that is asking quite a bit. But I do understand that from time to time, you will see pretty big sales on Hârn releases. So, and I get it. Columbia Games is a small family company. There isn't a bunch of, there aren't a bunch of employees working for them. So I get it. It's not as if we're not talking about this is like Pathfinder. This isn't selling like thousands upon thousands of copies of each new product when it comes out. So I do understand some of the higher pricing, but I will agree that the price is pretty damn high. So Eskel says, price is high, but you get quality. It's well worth it. So that's something else to keep in mind with especially role-playing games. If you're getting a ton of use out of something, I can see paying a higher price. But then again, when you have, different releases that are pretty lousy, that are probably priced a little cheaper, that's no great bargain either. All right, so it looks like we're going to get the history here. We get a chronology of what's going on. And if you had caught my interview with Grant, he was talking about how they cut off all of their backstory and everything at a certain point in time, at a certain year. Because after that, that's all up to you. So Coco B says, how often are fantasy names actually tested aloud before put onto paper? Rarely. Unfortunately, it is rarely. Flaming Heron says, you wouldn't buy this unless you wanted to use it. So, Agile Monk says, they're a veteran, and so are 30 plus of their family members. They cover all branches, and while there's always jabs and jokes, we all respect that we served. We love all those who choose to and served. Nice. All right, so here we've got information about the secession and the succession law, getting some information about natural resources. So here's the king, Megadeth, and his wife, possibly. So we get a breakdown of all of these various different claimants, it looks like, or those who will become claimants. Agile Monk says they keep a consistent date and timeline so you can run your world and games from that point. Yeah, that's what Grant was saying since the beginning. They've had a cutoff date that they will not publish any supplements that run beyond that because it's all up to you now. So here we've got some economic data, some religion. So I do want to point out the fine folks over at Columbia Games did provide me with this review copy as well as those other hardcovers I just showed you. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And of course, you already know these days, it's important that you know that. All right, so we get some heraldry here. So we get some of the various different houses or clans. Oh, there we go, right there, clans, great clans of Kaldor. Forest hundreds. Kaldor's unpopulated regions are administered by forest wardens with assistance from paid royal foresters. The wardens are charged with protecting and exploiting resources for the benefit of the crown. Although forest wardens are answerable to the sheriff, in practice, they are the sole arbiters of law and order within their hundreds. Poachers may be captured and bound over to the sheriff for justice, but it is not uncommon for a forest warden to resolve the issue directly. So we get a breakdown of various different shires and hundreds. So it looks like we've got royal domains. So the earldom of Vimian. I do like the artwork quite a bit. It's got a nice kind of woodcut style to it. It's pretty interesting. All right, so we have a Getha. Getha Keep is held from the king by Baron Shimon Indama, who also serves as Sheriff of Neff. The keep was first constructed in 280, then razed by fire in 437. It was completely rebuilt in 440 and is protected by a strong curtain wall. Although Getha is nearly 5 centuries old, it is still a rugged frontier town. Surrounding manors are frequently victimized by wolves in winter and bears in summer. It would suck. Man, that would suck. The guilds of timber wrights and charcoalers are well organized and prosperous. So if you are looking for a fantasy world that has a lot of, let's say, real world mechanisms built into it, Hârn is certainly one that you would want to take a peek at. And I know for a fact, if you're looking for something that's going to be like low fantasy or low magic, this would work extremely well. If you wanted to have no magic whatsoever, if you were just looking for something that was kind of a medieval tech level, but you didn't want to be playing in, our world's history, this would be a great alternative as well. Hey, look, it's Archie Bunker. I know there's people out there going, who? Who the hell's Archie Bunker? What is he talking about? So it looks like these are all of the various different feudal lords, all the different clans. So here we have one of the small maps. That's something else that Hârn is known for, is their maps. In fact, don't have it sitting around. I did get a map of Hârn along with these. So I know people get confused about Hârn and Hârn Master and Hârn World, and it's all part of the same system. So, to my understanding, Hârn Master is the actual role-playing game, the rules. So, which I do understand are super, super crunchy. So they're kind of like chivalry and sorcery as far as crunch level. Because I've always heard chivalry and sorcery is like really crunchy. So, but like I said, I've heard Hârn World is, of course, I know Hârn World is the setting itself. So it is system agnostic. So as you can see, as we've taken a peek through a lot of this, there aren't stat blocks. We don't have anything telling us about, oh, here's this NPC and here's their stat block. So there is some discussion about All in the Family and Carol O'Connor and Archie Bunker. Sarah says they work with a 26-year-old who has no idea who Archie is. Said we discovered this when I called a coworker a meathead. Flaming Heron says they know all about All in the Family, but they're more a fan of Carol O'Connor from In the Heat of the Night. Wow. That's a show I just really never watched. I didn't watch a lot of CBS shows. CBS, and it's kind of funny, CBS is sort of my mom's like network. And I never really watched much that was on CBS. I remember I watched like Magnum PI and Simon and Simon, and that was kind of it as a kid or as a teenager, what I really remember watching on CBS. So as you can, oh, now we get into religious leaders. Sweet. And then we get a settlement index. And this is our 60 pages. So as I had mentioned previously, if you tuned in a little bit late, I believe this is actually 2 books. So this first section we were just looking at, this is the Kingdom of Kaldor, which has that cover artwork. If you were looking at like the PDFs. Now it looks like we're picking up with a different book, which is Tashal, or Tashal, which is the capital of Kaldor. So it says, it is the largest city in the Kingdom of Kaldor and the second largest on Hârn after Karnan. So that's, I gotta be honest. So this is $59.99 as far as the MSRP. You figure the PDFs alone are $30 each. So you could either get the 2 PDFs or get them both together in a hardcover book for the same price. So Kevin says they think there's some All in the Family episodes that are available on YouTube. So Agile Monk says, In the Heat of the Night was based on the Sidney Poitier movie, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. No, it wasn't. That's not the movie it was based on. Was it? I thought the movie was In the Heat of the Night. And it was, hey, we were just talking about him. Who played the sheriff. He was in Waterloo as Napoleon. Rod Steiger. There you go, right. Kevin R. Smith just pointed out. Yeah, Rod Steiger's the cop. And the movie is In the Heat of the Night. Anyway, I'm like, they call me Mr. Tibbs. It's like, what? All right, so here we go. So here's the city. So we're going to get a breakdown on the politics, the government. The Great Summer Fair is one of the largest trading events on Hârn, second only to Sheriff's annual festival celebrating the arrival of the Laroon, a convoy of trading vessels bringing exotic goods from the Lethean continent. So we have a fair encounters. There we go. So Connor Dunning says Rod Sterling. No, Rod Steiger. So here we go. We start getting into some of the maps that Hârn is well known for. They're pretty detailed. So here we've got a crypt. It's an example of, is this the keep? It looks like it. It looks like it's either a keep or a castle. So we're getting a breakdown of all of that. The Enclave of the Holy Oak. So we get a breakdown. So this is area C. Hero Gates. And then we get it keyed. So it looks like we have 1 through 12, maybe. And then we have A, B, C, D. Very interesting. This would be extremely useful for urban adventures. Urban adventures can be a blast. As a game master, though, they can be a little tricky to pull off because it's so tempting to try to, just stat out everything about the city, which your players are never going to encounter. So, Eskel says, if you don't want to use Hârn Master, use Cthulhu Dark Ages. It's a great fit. Sweet. All right, so here we've got a breakdown of all these different shops. So the locksmith, F20, is Gere of Mirlim. Size 3, quality 4 stars, prices average. Says most of grizzled old Gere's work is done for nobles and the wealthy. He is an expert in installing secret doors and traps. The Leah Cavier leave him alone because he is uncle, the Sergeant Merlim of the Day Watch. Old Gere often has superb Kuzan locks for sale. So it looks like you get little tidbits about these NPCs, these shop owners. So looks like we've got a temple there. Of course, I will have a review of Kingdom of Kaldor for Hârn in the very near future. One aspect of Hârn World that's very appealing for a lot of people too is it's very modular. So you can just take what you want, use it, toss out what you don't. So if you don't like the economic system in this world, change it. If you don't like the politics, change it. But it looks here like we've got just a level of detail you don't normally see in a gazetteer, which in reality, this is what this is. It's a gazetteer, one about the kingdom and another about its capital. So Flaming Heron said Jeff's pronunciation skills are definitely being put to the test. I would say it's Jeff's creative pronunciation skills are being put to the test. But as was already mentioned, sort of like, so how often are some of these fantasy names actually, thought of and spoken out loud before they hit the page? Because you see that a lot, especially with like 5th edition D&D. It's kind of like, seriously, really? That's the character's name? Come on. Agile Monk says, Detective Virgil Tibbs. Heat of the Night, 1967. Steyr was sheriff. Portier was Tibbs. So, Eskel says, very modular with a bit of tinkering. And Wancho Dumagal has joined us. Very cool. Thanks for popping on in, even though we're getting ready to wrap up. So they're pointing out that great maps look like some great maps. So you can see there's a lot of quality packed in this book. Now, I'm not going to try to tell you $60 isn't pricey, right? Especially if you were looking just for the PDFs. But this does look like this offers quite a lot for those who are looking for a lot of detail about the kingdom as well as the capital. So there we go. That is Hârn, Kingdom of Kaldor from Columbia Games. As I mentioned, I will have a review of Kingdom of Kaldor in the very near future. Once again, big thank you to the folks over at Columbia Games for sending over not only this Kingdom book, but a trio of others that we will be looking at in the very near future. So you might be wondering, what is cooking this week? So on tomorrow's show, we are going to dive on in and take a first look at Zobek Clockwork City from our friends over at Kobold Press. Yes, this arrived over the weekend. Very cool. You know me. I love me my Kobold Press releases. So this is the Free City of Zobek. So this is the newest edition that tackles the Free City. And I believe this is kind of a gazetteer. So we will be diving on into this on tomorrow's show. On Wednesday, it is going to be a War Game Wednesday because we are going to take a look at Inferno from GMT Games. This is another title in the, is it Levian campaign? Double check in here. Yes, it is Levian campaign. I thought that was it. And I said it as it came out of my mouth. I'm like, wait a second. Is the series called Levian campaign? I know it's Volko Runke's series, or at least he designed the first game. So that is what this is. And I will not even attempt to pronounce these factions here. I will look them up because these are real. These are historical. So I would like to pronounce those correctly. I'm not just going to pull, pronunciation out of a hat like I did multiple times tonight. So that's going to be on Wednesday's show. And then next week, it is going to be Kingmaker Week. That's right. We're going to be diving on into Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is for second edition Pathfinder. Look at this massive tome. So this is about as big as the core rule book. So, in fact, let's take a look. How many pages are we at? Now, I will mention that the book is a little banged up, but it's a review copy. That's usually how they do it. Let's see. Let's take a peek here. All right, come on, page numbers. Well, last page number is 627, and then we have some maps. And that is about the that's about the length of the core rulebook. This is what I'm talking about with it kind of dinged up, and it actually has damaged some of the pages. But like I said, it's a review copy, right? It's not like I bought it. So all next week we're looking at Kingmaker because there's a ton of Kingmaker stuff that was sent. Just going to show some of them real quick. So we've got flip mats. We have the bestiary for 5e. We also have the bestiary for first edition for Kingmaker. We have the Kingdom Tracker, the Companion Guide, the Kingdom Management Screen. Here's the 5e bestiary. the poster map folio, and last but certainly not least, the pawn box. And Paizo actually also sent along Fist of the Ruby Phoenix because they know that they had sent like one of the Adventure Path chapters for review and not the others. So they sent this along. Pretty sweet. So pretty cool. So Flaming Heron says Kingmaker Week. Yeah, it'll be Kingmaker Week. So we will be looking at the core rulebook next Monday, and I will break down the other two shows. We'll look at some of the books as well as some of the flip mats. So on the Tuesday and Wednesday show, we'll look at like a bestiary and a flip mat or two. So it's not just one show is all flip mats. So Kevin says, is Kingmaker dual statted for second edition Pathfinder and 5e? Thought he heard something about that. That might be one reason for the huge page count. Tell you what, let's swing back over. Let's take a look real quick. I know I'm cheating, so I guess next week isn't going to be a real first look because I'm cracking this open right now. Let's take a peek. All right, so it is not as if we've got like two books, right? So for some reason, I thought there was a separate 5e conversion, and I think that might be the bestiary. So, but the interesting thing too is that I see all the time the Pathfinder Adventure Paths are also advertised as being for the, world's oldest role-playing game. And I never see where it's like dual statted. It never looks like there's, multiple stat blocks. Maybe I just don't pay that close attention to it. But here, as we can see, it's Chapter 11 goes 478, and then we get into the appendices. So, tell you what, I know that might not have been as in focus as it should have been. Okay, that's the first edition bestiary. So, let's see. Here we go. Here there be monsters. Okay, so this was actually put together with Paizo and Legendary Games. So this is the 5e bestiary. So, and of course, we'll look far deeper into this. So yeah, we have our NPC codex. So this is it. These are the stats. This is the 5e stat book. Because we've got hazards and traps, companions, they're all in here. So it is not dual statted. So anyway, Flaming Heron says, well, it's a first look for the entire book, Jeff. So they'll give me a pass. Yes, because I really didn't dig too far into it. But what an awesome package. In fact, this was 2 boxes that showed up. The first box actually had the core rulebook, and that showed up on Saturday. And then today, the second box showed up that had all of the other goodies. So what a cool thing for Paizo to do, because they send me all the new stuff that comes out, but stuff that's like already, like for an example, I wasn't expecting to get Fist of the Ruby Phoenix because I was already doing reviews, and Sammy was doing reviews for the Paizo products at that time. We just didn't receive everything. It was very, very hit or miss. So I thought that was very cool that my contacts over at Paizo Inc. sent this along, as well as all this awesome Kingmaker stuff. I was like, wow, very, very cool. I'm pretty excited to dive on in. I have played the PC game of Pathfinder Kingmaker, which took probably about 120 hours to complete. That's why I haven't dove into Path of the Righteous, because I'm like, or Wrath of the Righteous. Isn't that it? Wrath of the Righteous? The most recent Pathfinder PC adventure. So because I'm like, oh, wow, I sank a lot of time into Kingmaker. All right. Anyway, so remember, tomorrow we are going to take a look at Zobek Clockwork City from Cobalt Press. Right, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. I'll also let you know when I upload other original videos, such as my review of Twilight Struggle Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa. So stay tuned. That will be up in the wee morning hours tomorrow. So the Madman says they've been very impressed with Paizo, really enjoying his first foray into Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It is. I have quibbles with some of the adventures, but then again, remember, I'm kind of an old school guy. So some of the modern trappings of adventure design don't necessarily jive with me. But as far as a game system and the amount of just options available for the players is insane. Plus, I love the fact with the various different creatures, monsters, stuff like that, with that 3-action economy, it makes for very interesting combat and very interesting encounters, far more interesting than what you find in 5th edition. Just in my opinion. Alrighty. Anyway, if you were watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate you tuning in. If you watched live and took part in chat, a big tip of the cap, because not only do you keep me company, but you keep each other company as I babble on about the usual nonsense. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy life to watch any of the videos here on the YouTube channel. And keep in mind, we passed 10,000 subscribers. In fact, now we're at 10.1K. So thank you, everybody. And I will be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. And here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.